I'm back again, baby. I know you see the yellow, the little Trae Young piece. I know it complements my pretty skin. I know. We here, baby. We're talking everything All-Star game. The three-point contest with Sabrina versus Steph. You know, the celebrity game. Rumor is Stephen A. Smith got his ankles broken by Micah Parsons the day before the game. If we got enough time, we're even going to go into the NFL, Garoppolo getting suspended. And then we're going to finish up with the second half thoughts. You know, who's going to win the big one? Who's in contention? Who's it going to be? Right here, baby, on Son of a Gun.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Good to see you here.
Yeah, so I see. What is that, man?
Timmy, if we're going to do All-Stars, we might as well do the All-Star. Tim Duncan, baby. Wemby going to come up, but it'll be a couple years. He need a little help and a little time, but he's coming. Mark my words, he's coming. Just like when the Admiral first got there, it took him a season. It's going to take Wemby just a season. Once he gets past that sophomore wall, look out, baby. Nobody's going to want to go to San Antonio.
Hey, I love that. And speaking of Wemby, was he in the three-point contest?
Hey.
A 7-footer. What is he, 8'12"?
Hey.
And he's pulling?
Hey.
The NBA is insane now. We might as well, let's get right into it.
Look, when it comes to him and you talk about his range, the NBA already know they have a problem.
I think they're trying to make him the face. You know what I'm saying? LeBron's 56 years old now, so, you know, they're going to have to move on from him. KD's getting old. Steph is old. Kyrie's old. You know, and they need that new face. I think Wemby, count my words, I think he has the potential. But three-point contest, right?
Okay.
I saw some things. Cat had his foot on the line the whole time he was shooting. What are we doing, bro? You play on the same court every game. You've been in the league for a long time. What are you doing?
Did they count it?
They did. That's crazy. Yeah, they need a replay on that. I mean, they probably took it easy on him because he won last year, but like, that's another big man shooting. NBA's crazy.
Yeah.
It ended what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Steph Curry obviously couldn't play. He's like that kid at recess. He's too good, you know, at dodgeball, so the teachers keep him out of the game. You know what I'm saying? He's too good at the three-point contest.
That sounds a little touchy. Is that personal?
I did get kicked out of a dodgeball game. The first game I ever played in middle school. That's a story for another day. Matter of fact, that story's already out. Check out Talk to Me, Tony, episode 2 on YouTube. Great little story about when I got kicked out of dodgeball. Day 1, first ball I threw, banged out. But shout out Dame Lillard.
Yep. Dame again.
Yep, 26 points, sharpshooter. He got the trophy.
Right. It's back-to-back, right? He got it last year. So, you know, the expectations were there for him to do that. So, and with Steph not in it,
yeah.
So, nice. Way to go, Dame.
Yep, congrats, Dame. Yep. Good man. You got traded to the Bucks, and y'all are having your little woes over there, but way to go get you one.
They're going to fix it. They're going to jail, and they're going to get after it the second half, the Bucks. So,
if you say so, pedo. The slam dunk contest. Bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? That was so bad. They got a G Leaguer winning it 2 times in a row?
2 years in a row.
A dunk contest? That is blowing my mind. Jaylen Brown did try to do that little tribute, the little...
So that whole NBA thing has morphed and changed, and nobody's trying to do that. Everybody wants to stand at half court and shoot.
Bro, boom out. These dudes can jump higher than ever. What? Like, I don't understand. I need to see, throw it off the backboard, catch it in between your legs, windmill back scratcher. Give me something. Mac McClung jumped over Shaquille O'Neal.
Right.
He's 7'10", 450. And Jaylen Brown jumped over Kai Cenat.
Yeah.
Kai Cenat is not taller than this table, and he was sitting down. What are we doing?
Yeah.
And they gave him 40s. They gave him 40.
They gave him 40s.
Bro, these judges, too, they're tripping, but.
And they're still trying to figure out, and I think there's going to be a lot of talk going on with the NBA this coming season on what we need to do to get back in touch with our All-Star Weekend festivities. We got to do something.
It has to be. I think the most interesting thing for me during the All-Star Weekend was Steph Curry versus Sabrina.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. I love that, actually. I think that brought awareness to the WNBA players, gave her some shine, but not surprised at the outcome.
And the outcome was pretty close. I don't know if I like it. It takes me back to when the women and the men were playing a little golf match, and those kind of things happening. And but in this particular case, I have to side with good television. We saw her win during the WNBA All-Star. She won that weekend, and right there is where she called Steph out. So, it was supposed to go that way. And I think had she won, he would have requested a rematch because she's already asked for a rematch. And so it'll be interesting to see how this progresses and how others will come along, especially when they do these crossover type events. So it was a good TV show. So that's always good for TV.
Yeah. It was entertaining. It made me watch. It made me watch. The All-Star game, didn't care. Did not make me watch. That made me watch. But I'll say this, because I feel like a lot of people don't want to say this because, I don't know, let's all be politically correct, this and that. You can't bash anyone. Who thought that Steph Curry was going to lose that? What are we talking about? Yes, Sabrina, phenomenal shooter, I think. Probably one of the best women shooters in the game right now, if not the best, right? She can shoot. Anyone who watches sports knows that, right?
And so the hope was just to get him on an off day. He got to have one.
He doesn't.
You think he's got to have one. And so just hoping to catch him on an off day where he's, 70%.
He's the greatest shooter to ever touch a basketball. He don't have an off day. He wakes up and he don't miss. What are we talking about? And the thing is, if Sabrina would have missed one shot, Steph Curry would have not missed one. He would have gone however many balls it is, 40 for 40, whatever it is. There was just no way that she could have physically beat him. But I will say this. She did shoot 26, and Dame won with 26. So that's very interesting. And see, next year, they'll probably look at the numbers from that. They might even slide her into the three-point contest.
So so that's where I was going earlier with looking at what Dame did in the three-point contest, and she specifically called out Steph. Now, did she overlook Dame? Was that something right there? Was that a diss? Was that a snub? Was that a yeah, I got that. So it'll be, but then again, that maybe it is a little his and hers kind of tournament, and there's a second one that will come out. Caitlin Clark might be in the WNBA next year, and so so she's trying to throw it up from half court. So it'll be interesting to see going forward.
And just a rhetorical question here. What does it say about an all-star game when you got to bring someone from another league in to get viewership? We'll leave that there. Last thing about that. She was using a women's ball.
Correct.
Which is smaller.
However, she was shooting from the men's three-point line.
She was shooting from half court in college.
Correct.
So range is nothing. I mean, she's a pure shooter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now,
I just wanted to balance it out, right? She was using the women's ball, but she was shooting from the men's three, right? So
women's ball is smaller, for those who don't know. So there's a bigger margin of error when shooting it into the basket because the ball is smaller. The hoop stays the same size, right? The men's ball is a little bit bigger. So to get it in that same hoop size, you got to be more pure. Steph should have dropped 45 on her. But
All he wanted to do was win, not embarrass her.
he danced after he hit it, after he won.
Well, but he always does that, right?
Yeah.
But that was better than.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If he, if he would have slept her, oh my God,
So
they would be on his head this week. But yeah, I think that was the most entertaining part for me.
So, the celebrity game, I enjoyed. I enjoyed watching it. Micah Parsons MVP, just a man amongst boys out there, and 39 points 39 points, MVP. So he's proven that he is an athlete. And so when all of these offenses that have to play the Cowboys pre-plan, they know they have a problem, and he's the problem that they're trying to isolate and deal with. And so he was out there just showcasing that he is very skilled. In fact, Stephen A., what up, boy? So, I know Stephen A. is going to have all kinds of excuses. He's going to say he did that, he did whatever, but the clip is clearly out there. The crossover busted his ass. So, and he said, there was some sweat on the floor, and whatever. Yeah. Did you see that crossover?
Yeah.
Stay behind the desk,
yep.
Cowboy hater.
You did know
the fans enjoyed that, right?
He lost his legs. He ain't know where the feet were. His body got moving too fast, and then the next thing you know,
See,
hey.
that's because his body couldn't keep up with that head. Stephen A. Say he had to go to the hospital after he was attended to by the NBA trainers.
Crazy.
He still had to go and had to boot. So now we need to get him another boot and a hat. Stephen A. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, but Micah Parsons, yes, congratulations, MVP. I don't know if you saw his little podcast, but he was talking to C.J. Stroud, saying how he used to drop 40 in high school, this and that. Micah Parsons plays basketball like a football player. Anyone who has ever been in gym class and had to play pickup basketball against a middle linebacker or a running back knows exactly what I'm saying. He gets the ball, he gets to the three-point line, you back off him because he can't shoot, and he puts his head down and he runs through you. He's 220. This is a celebrity game. He is an NFL player. He was putting his shoulder in people's chests. I mean, so yes, he should have had 50. But I also want to shout out C.J. Stroud. He also had a very good game. But it was entertaining. I saw they tried to do the whole thing with the Ruffles 4-point line and, this team's hot, so their points are double, this and that. So I thought it was very interesting. It was decent. It was more entertaining than the actual NBA All-Star game, though.
So before we jump in, I want to just throw one more thing at you. If he doesn't retire, talking about Steph, I feel like right now he would be a favorite in the three-point contest next year, in the contest itself, not the shootout with the WNBA, but in the contest itself against Dame, because the All-Star game will be at Golden State next year. So he'll be home. The crowd's going to want it. They're going to want him to come right out of the locker room shooting. So he would be my favorite going into next year, a year from now. So, and so, yeah, moving forward into the game itself, you mentioned LeBron is 56 years old. He didn't even play the second half.
Yeah.
Interesting. I just find that interesting. Seems like if I was wearing that's just me. So
LeBron is in year 20, season 20. He's been in the NBA longer than he's not been in the NBA in his lifetime. He is the model of consistency. He's been the best player in the league 2 years after he got in it, and he hasn't relinquished that. So what do you mean he didn't play the second half of the least competitive All-Star game I've ever seen in my entire life? He's 106. His beard is more gray than yours. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah, he didn't play second half. It's his 20th All-Star game.
So, should he have even been there?
Yes.
No.
He's one of the top players in the league.
Really? In what? This year alone, let's go with King. You said he's been out there forever. Maybe there's a time when you just need to pull on up and sit on the couch or the Barco lounger and celebrate your Taco Tuesdays. So with the exception of his rookie season, this is his most down year to this point in the season. Fewer minutes, fewer points. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to step aside.
What are we talking about?
And as we move forward and we talk about what's going to happen in the second half, the Lakers, they won the in-season tournament, and I am going to be one to say that I think they have a second win, but it ain't enough in the West,
bro.
He probably won't be traded. He's probably going to retire a Laker or a Cavalier or Heat. Who else did he play for? Yeah.
Are you done?
So
listen, because you're talking crazy about the GOAT. You're talking crazy about the GOAT. You just tried to compare this man to his second season in the NBA.
No.
Right? When he was 19 years old.
I said since his rookie season.
Okay.
Rookie season is going to be.
For sure.
But since that time, he's been stepping up. But this year, them legs ain't having it.
Okay. And so this is what we're doing, right? We're expecting this just speaks to how good of a player he is. We're trying to hold him to a standard of when he was 25 in his prime. This man is 38 years old. 38 years old. Played with about 40% of the people who've ever played in the NBA. And we're trying to hold him to a standard that was 15 years ago in his prime. That's how good he's been. Consistently elite. You understand that?
For the longest, the New England Patriots were almost. And then they threw in the Tom Brady rules. You're talking about him been in there for 20 years. You know why he's been playing for 20 years? Because he hadn't had to face any defense. The NBA, they call it the National Basketball Association. It's really no body contact allowed. So he ain't getting fouled like the Jordan rules. Are there any LeBron rules? No, never heard of them. 20 years because they can't touch him, King James. They needed a face, and now they got one. And so if they want to crown him prematurely, go ahead. Why did it take him 20 years?
He's been the best player in the league since his rookie season. What are you talking about? You just don't want to give him the crown. He's been the best player. And the whole defense thing, we're going to save that for another episode because I'm going to go in on you. I'm going to go in because
they scored 208 points.
This is what they do, man. This is what they do. This is what these old heads, this is what they do, right? They think about the times when they were watching basketball in the NBA and they're fouling so hard. They're punching people out here. There's, blase. Go watch the freaking tape. Are you kidding me? Bro, in like the 80s, I could have scored 15, 5 and 5. Like, stop it. The defense is so better now. The offense is so much better that you think the defense isn't as good. I mean, and what did you say earlier? Victor Wembanyama, he's 9'15", and he's in the three-point contest. What center from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s is getting out on the wing and guarding that? As soon as they run out there, sham god, easy lays. Like, stop it. The players in the league are just so much better. The offense is just so much better that it makes looks like they're not playing defense. When in reality, the game is just harder to stop from scoring. It's just harder. Everybody on the team can shoot three-pointers. Everybody on the team can pass. Everybody on the team can dribble. What are we talking about?
That's not new. That's since basketball started. The fundamentals of basketball: pass, run, shoot, score. That's always been.
Is Bill Laimbeer bringing the ball up the court?
He didn't need to. He could
Is
have.
Shaquille O'Neal bringing the ball up the court?
I've seen him do it.
Once.
I've seen him do it.
Stop it.
I've seen him do it.
Because you're about to get me heated.
And, Magic Johnson was 6'9".
Boom. Yeah.
There's your point guard, point forward, scoring. But my point is they're not playing any defense at all. Once they take a step and they're gone. They're gone. The only person I've seen that might be physical the last couple of years, Draymond Green.
He gets real physical.
Like he's been to Detroit. He understands what they were doing back there with the Jordan rules. And so he gets all of that. But outside of that, the defense is very lax. Yes, the athletes are better, faster, taller, bigger.
Can jump higher.
Whatever. They can do, but it has always been eras of basketball. It has always done that. But they still play defense. They scored 208 points in an all-star game where the clock just runs. Who was playing defense? No body contact allowed. NBA.
So I'll agree with you on the All-Star game, the point total. There was zero
How do you
defense.
score 186 points and lose? And not just lose, you lost by 20.
Right.
So the only person that may have been playing defense was the referees trying to get out of the way.
And I agree with that sentiment and that whole statement about the NBA All-Star game. I think there was zero defense. Everybody's buddy. I didn't like it. I think it's. I haven't seen that little amount of competitiveness in my entire life. My 5-year-old YMCA T-ball team had more spirit and heart than what those players showed in the NBA All-Star game this past weekend. It was ridiculous. You know, like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just looking in the crowd to see what celebrities are in there and, you know, the plastic little IG models. Hey, keep doing y'all's thing, man. You're the only reason I was watching the game. So turn up. We need more of you. Hey, Adam Silver, you want to get more viewers? Get more models.
Yeah, I guess that'll get it. I'm looking at it and I'm going, Karl Anthony Towns scored 50. 50.
Clean it up. Figure it out.
The thing is, the All-Star game only perpetuated or visualized to everybody for everybody to see what goes on in the season. I'll tell you what, there can be teams in the NBA. We've seen games this year. You'll see them the second half where the team is down by 20 at halftime. They come out and make a run in the third quarter. Well, what was going on in the first two quarters, offensively or defensively?
The team makes adjustments. What are you talking about? Halftime adjustments. Who's never heard of that? That's the definition of a good coach, halftime adjustments. Cut it out. See, what you're doing right now, this is what you're doing. You're just poking that spot right here on my neck. Right here on my neck, trying to get me heated. I'm not falling for the bait.
Oh, my goodness. Dame Lillard had 39 in the game. So, again, he's the MVP. Okay. All right. Well.
Hey, for my gambling fans, one of my boys went up big betting on Dame Lillard to win the MVP. So, if you gamble, Dame's always a good bet.
Well, and there you go. So, that's what happened. He got it again. So, didn't he get MVP last year?
I don't remember.
Well.
Just so long ago.
Usually they feed the hometown guys, so it's not surprising at all. Not surprising, but we'll see as we move forward into the second half. And speaking of the second half of the NBA season, the no body contact allowed, we'll see how this, goes out. Now, I want to clean up the All-Star game real quick. I didn't want anybody to get hurt, but I still wanted somebody to look like Gary Payton.
You know what really gets me heated about that? This is my last thing, and then we'll try to move on. In the off season, right? I'm seeing videos on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok of all these players getting together in some gym in California. It's got all the black walls and the big windows where the sun's coming through. Anyone who's on Instagram or Twitter and likes basketball knows exactly what gym I'm talking about. That was when the birth of Hoodie Mello, things like that, like legends are built. It's 10 times more competitive. And it's so fun to watch them get into work. It's one-on-ones, like get to work on this dude. That's all you have to do. I don't understand why it's not like that. I think the key, you got to incentivize, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody likes money to play in tournament. What did they get? $500,000 a piece? Right?
Right.
You're talking about LeBron season 20. He said, oh, yeah, I'm going to get my young bucks $500,000. And he turned up and went and got one. Same thing he's going to do this year. But you got to incentivize these guys somehow, like a money thing or home court advantage in the playoffs for the team that wins, for the conference that wins, something that get these guys wanting to play, because there's nothing to play for right now. These dudes are pulling up half court. I mean, you saw Luka get the inbound pass and just turn and shoot it. What are we doing? That's unacceptable. Guys in the skills contest shooting left-handed and getting because they just don't care. There's no incentive to do anything, to work your hardest, to do your best in these all-star situations, when this is an essential time to get people who don't watch basketball every day, the casual fan, to get them more into the game.
Sure. I mean, I watched Dame pull, 2 or 3 from half court, just stop and pop. So, yeah, it'll be something to see how they make these changes. So let's move on to the second half of the NBA season, because I want to go back to a point I think you were trying to make. One of these days for Christmas, we'll get you a hat to cover that up. But for now, we'll talk about, since you say King James won the in-season tournament, and you got the boys.
That's his name.
You got the boys to do whatever to win that, and that's good. And I guess, are you one of those that think he'll keep playing until he wins the championship again and then he'll retire, or is he going to try to stick around for his son? Yeah. So you know what? Let's just end it right here. Let's say it like this, because he is not. The Lakers are not going into the NBA championship this year. So they won't make the finals. You heard it right here. Mark your calendars.
Okay. That was insane. You're going to ask me a question, and then before I can answer, you're going to interrupt me?
Well, it was rhetorical.
Do you think I'm in the same vicinity as you? I can put my hands on you. Oh, my gosh. But no, I don't think the Lakers are going to win the championship this year. I think LeBron James is trying to hold out until Bronny gets there. And from what I've seen from Bronny, good player, lottery pick, nah, not this season. So they might have to work a miracle. I mean, LeGoat James is GM and co-CEO of the NBA. So if he wants his son in the NBA on his team, it will be no problem. So I think he's waiting for his son to get there. He doesn't need to win another championship to prove anything to anybody. He's already the best player to ever bless an NBA basketball court or touch an NBA basketball. So I think he's waiting for his son just to have a little family moment.
And how many has he won?
Beep.
Only 4. Okay. With 4 different teams. Okay. I feel like if the Lakers perhaps were in the East, they make the playoffs easily enough. I don't see that happening. The West is just is top loaded, and I don't know if they can come back, if they have enough in their tank to get back Right now they're 9th place in the West, so there's time to get there, but I don't know that they have enough juice in the tank left, especially after expending so much in the in-season tournament. I kind of feel like that was one of the reasons why he set out the second half. Well, and that plus trying to get oxygen. So, but I still feel like Boston and Milwaukee will come out of the East, and it's to get past Minnesota in the West, and Oklahoma City right now is playing well. So
I do like the Thunder, young little Thundercats. Boys is nice. We won't get into the Josh Giddey situation, but whoa.
But I at the same time, I wonder if the East in the finals have enough discipline to win 7 games. So
it's to be seen. I think in the finals anything can happen.
And isn't that the key for all of the sports?
Yeah.
Whether it's baseball, football, basketball, right?
Just get hot.
Just get in it, right?
Get in it and get hot. Like, be hot right at the end.
The Phillies proved that. Green Bay proved that in football this year. So just at the right time. So, yeah. So, good.
You're bringing up old wounds that I had worked hard with my therapist to get past. There's no reason the Dallas Cowboys should have lost in the playoffs to the Green Bay Packers.
That is correct.
Okay.
So,
Woosah.
just as we just break down the NFL, I would say this about the teams. They know who they are. If you didn't make the playoffs, you need to improve your team.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. If you didn't play in the Super Bowl, you need to improve your team.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't win the Super Bowl this year, you need to improve your coaching.
I'm going to get Jerry Jones on the line and put him on speaker if you can repeat yourself.
You need to improve your coaching.
Improve it.
Improve it. So
get a run defense. Get 2 running backs, a big boy and a scat back. Get a coach who knows clock management. You're 97 years old. You've been around the game long enough. You know what it takes to win. Prove it.
My bad. I get it. I poked it. It was scabbing over. And so let me say, Denver and Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Can they maintain? Can they match up to get out of the West?
I think Denver has already proved it. Jokic and Murray together is just a very good tandem, and it's been the kryptonite for a lot of teams.
Is it repeatable? Because where are they now? 4th, 5th place right now? Is it repeatable?
I think it is. Murray's been out a little bit.
Yeah.
And Jokic does not care about basketball. So this is a day job. This is a 9 to 5 for him. He doesn't care that he goes out 30, 20, and 10 every night. So if he could just get a little bit of energy, a little bit of spark, act like he enjoys playing the game. And Jamal Murray's healthy. MPJ is healthy. One of my favorite players, Michael Porter. Oh, my God. He's never seen a shot he didn't like. I mean, as soon as it touches his hand, he pulls. He is a player after my own heart. No dribbling, no passing, none of that. None of that.
Today's NBA.
Put it in the basket. Put it in the basket. I love that.
But I see you sitting over there. Is that the Hawks? The Atlanta Hawks? What's up? What you got with them?
This is an Ice Tray jersey. What do you mean?
So what they gonna do?
Not a thing. Not a thing, buddy. Yeah, nah. I think they
The
just
jersey's cute, huh?
It ain't cute. It ain't fine, huh? Hey, you better take that back. This was gifted to me from a nice young lady. This was a gift, and I still do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So
That's nice.
thank you. And no, I just think Ice Tray. It was ridiculous that he had to get into the All-Star. Be an all-star this year due to injury of Joel Embiid when he's putting up numbers that have not been done before, and he's been doing it for years. And I feel like he just does not get the recognition that he deserves just because Atlanta hasn't been amazing, like these other teams and big market teams. The biggest moment was when he was in Boston and he bowed to everyone, and they were all chanting, F you, Trae Young. And he said, Ice Tray. So I think Ice Tray the gang. You see it, man.
So
stop playing with it.
we talked about the All-Star game, and Karl Anthony Towns scored 50 points.
Mm-hmm.
What did he get?
Nada, nothing.
So he was on the losing side.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, who was the defensive player of the game?
Of the All-Star game?
Yeah, I missed that part. I must have fell asleep or something.
Yeah, Dame Lillard won MVP.
Who was the defensive player of the game?
Dame Lillard won MVP.
I see. Okay. All right. I just checking. I thought I missed something,
I'm saying the same thing. The All-Star game, they had no defense.
I just wanted clarification.
We are saying the same thing.
I just needed clarification.
Is it clarified?
I got it.
Goodness
So
gracious.
my point was though, you're talking about Trey Young doesn't get any respect, but the team is not good.
Right.
So you can score 50, but if your team ain't good, that's my point. So it doesn't matter. He should be in the 3-point shootout all the time, but
He did very well.
he needs some help, and it's hard for me at least, to watch him long enough to say, here's the problem, here's the problem, here's the problem, fix it. So the Nets got beat by 50 by Celtics. 5 days later, they fired their coach. In Atlanta, we seem to hold on to the coaches a little long. Just a thought. Just a thought.
We do. Hey, but I'll give it to Snicker over there in the baseball MLB world.
Right.
Good Atlanta coach. I like what he's doing over there with the Braves.
Right.
I like that.
And you know what? I believe part of that is because he spent so much time in the minor leagues. So he can still talk to those guys. He can still talk at their level, get it out of them that they need, because he understands the road that they have traveled. And I'm not saying the other major league managers don't. One of the trivia questions was about Cito Gaston. So I'm not saying that they don't. They do. Most of them have. But they have long ago. We're looking at, who do we have last year? We had some 70-year-olds. And Dusty Baker's still a good coach, but maybe he should be a consultant, or maybe, since that's where he's going to be doing, right? So I just think Snickers spent so much time in the minors with those guys coming up. He came up with a lot of them, so they already knew him. They know how he coaches. They know the expectations. And anytime they need some adjustment, he's there to make those adjustments and help them self-adjust to get better. And so when we talk baseball, I don't see why the Braves don't win the division again this year.
Yep.
That's not enough.
Yep.
I think Snicker, the analytics may have bogged him down a little bit, because I'm sure he was hearing it from both sides. You need to do this analytically. You need to do this physically. And then he had his own gut instinct. But I'm sure everybody could see, everybody in the organization, and so they'll make those adjustments this year. And we'll see what happens with the Braves.
Be on the lookout for a Braves podcast coming soon.
Go ahead. You want to do a spot? Go ahead.
I haven't made the name yet for it and put all the pre work into it yet, but it is coming your way.
All right.
So with that, we finna get out of here, man. I mean, the All-Star weekend really left me disappointed and not fulfilled. The 3-point contest. Wait, scratch that. Steph versus Sabrina.
There we go.
The dunk contest. Boo, you stink. Pointless. Jaylen Brown, that was so ridiculous. He needed to get suspended for a few games coming into the second half, but Adam Silver will handle that. Jimmy G did get suspended for 2 games for steroids. We forgot to get to that, but that did happen. So in the world of sports, everything's still going on, even when the teams are not in season. And I'm happy to have concluded a second show with my mans, Michael DeBro. Yeah. And we can't wait to do episode number 3.
All right. Looking forward to it. Because I realize that by the time I'm done, people leave the room. He's a tough son of a gun, but I still bring the boom.
Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
When you were going about the whole King James thing, I was like, what? I'm going to have to square this. And did he touch me?